Iran's supreme leader is dead. Their nuclear sites are rubble. And Donald Trump just said the worst hasn't even started yet. In 5 days, the United States military hit more than 1,700 Iranian targets. That's not a typo. 1,700 military targets destroyed in 72 hours. And on day 4, Trump posted on Truth Social with 4 words that should terrify every government on earth. The big one is coming. This is Operation Epic Fury. And it is the single most consequential military event since the invasion of Iraq in 2003, some say since 9/11 itself. Let me take you back to where this started. On the night of February 27th, B-2 stealth bombers took off from the continental United States, not from a base in the Middle East, from American soil. They flew thousands of miles and then dropped 30,000-pound GBU-57 bunker buster bombs on Iran's most fortified nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, all on the same night. And Fordow is buried inside a mountain. It was supposed to be indestructible. The Iranians built it specifically to survive American bombs. The GBU-57 was built specifically for Fordow. Simultaneously, a joint U.S.-Israeli strike killed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in his Tehran compound. Also killed Iran's defense minister, the IRGC commander-in-chief, and several top IRGC generals. All in one night. Iran declared 40 days of national mourning by morning. Here's the kicker. In 47 years of the Islamic Republic, Iran had never once lost a supreme leader to foreign military action. Khamenei had held power for 34 years, and he was gone before most Iranians woke up. Now here's what most people are missing. The nuclear strikes and Khamenei's killing were just the opening move. In the first 72 hours alone, CENTCOM, that's U.S. Central Command, confirmed hitting over 1,700 Iranian targets, using more than 2,000 individual munitions. Nibor. Think about that number. 1,700 targets in 72 hours means the U.S. was striking something in Iran approximately every 2.5 minutes around the clock for 3 straight days. The target list read like a complete destruction checklist of Iran's military existence. IRGC Joint Headquarters, Aerospace Forces Command, Air Defense Systems, ballistic missile launchers, naval bases, military airfields, communication centers. All of it hit. All of it hit hard. By day 2, the satellite imagery from companies like Planet and Vantor showed multiple fires, sunken ships, and destroyed buildings at Iran's key naval bases, Bandar Abbas and Konarak. Iran's navy, the force that had been threatening Gulf oil shipping for years, was functionally gone. And then came the moment that no one had seen since World War II. A U.S. nuclear-powered submarine hunted down an Iranian corvette, not in the Persian Gulf, not even in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Sri Lanka, and thousands of miles from home. It torpedoed the ship and sank it. Pentagon Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed it personally. Iran's total naval losses by day 4, 17 warships destroyed, including one of their own submarines. In under a week, the Iranian Navy had effectively ceased to exist. If you're finding this content valuable, if you think people need to understand what's actually happening right now, hit the like button. YouTube suppresses channels that cover this kind of content. On your single click is what gets this in front of people who need to see it. Now back to the story. So Iran did what it always does. It hit back. They fired waves of ballistic missiles and drones at U.S. military bases across the region, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar. They even sent drones at the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh. The Iranian parliamentary speaker went on state television and said, "I want oligokaman." And I'm quoting directly, "Mi kadari in the Bible winduri, kilste shoga kwanente, kendan genzau." You will deliver such devastating blows that you yourselves will beg for mercy. So, did it work? Not really. The UAE alone intercepted 9 ballistic missiles, 6 cruise missiles, and 148 drones in a single night. Qatar shot down 2 Iranian warplanes and intercepted 7 missiles and 5 more drones. U.S. Patriot and THAAD systems in the region were operating at near maximum efficiency. Here's the proof that Iran's military was already breaking. By day 4 of the operation, CENTCOM General Dan Kane stood at the Pentagon podium and announced that Iranian ballistic missile launches were down 86% from day 1. Drone launches were down 73%. Iran's retaliatory capacity was collapsing in real time, not over months, not over years, in 4 days. But that's not the full story. 6 U.S. soldiers were killed in Kuwait when an Iranian missile broke through. That number matters, those names matter, and it's the price Trump has publicly accepted. The U.S. death toll is 6 out of 50,000 troops deployed. That ratio tells you everything about the imbalance of this war. Now let's talk about the big picture, because this is where it gets interesting. The Strait of Hormuz. Remember that name. It's a 33-kilometer wide stretch of water between Iran and Oman. And right now, it is the most dangerous place on Earth for global economics. 20 to 30% of all the world's traded oil passes through this strait every single day. And not some of the world's oil, not a regional percentage. A fifth to a third of all global oil supply. Through one narrow passage. Since day one of Operation Epic Fury, shipping traffic through Hormuz has dropped 80%. Oil supertanker rates, the daily cost to move oil by sea, hit an all-time record of $423,736 per day, up 94% in 48 hours. Brent crude moved from $73 a barrel to $83 in 5 days, and Bloomberg is warning that if Hormuz closes completely, bisalau, we could be looking at $120 to $150 per barrel. Global inflation, energy crisis, recession. This is Iran's last weapon. Not missiles. They've lost 86% of those. Not their navy. It's at the bottom of the sea. Their last card is a 33-kilometer stretch of water, and everyone knows it. And this is where Trump's warning becomes critical. On March 2nd, Trump told CNN's Jake Tapper, "We haven't even begun to hit them with full force. The significant wave has yet to occur. Yet the big one is approaching rapidly." The next day, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth walked into the Pentagon press room and said, 4 days in, we have only just begun to fight. We are accelerating, not decelerating. Terms of this war will be set by us." And then, on March 4th, Hegseth confirmed something that few people caught. More U.S. forces are still arriving in the Middle East. Not leaving, arriving. 50,000 troops, 200 fighter jets, 2 full carrier strike groups, and still growing. The operation is officially planned to last 4 to 5 weeks. Trump said it could go far longer. Meanwhile, Iran is leaderless. Literally. Their supreme leader is dead. Their defense minister is dead. Their IRGC chief is dead. Their foreign minister is telling Al Jazeera they hope to choose a replacement within 1 or 2 days. You don't replace a supreme leader in 2 days. The last transition took weeks of secret negotiations among senior clerics. And that was in 1989, as after Khamenei's natural death, not an assassination during an active war. The Islamic Republic is facing what historians call a decapitation moment. The head is gone. The body is still moving. But for how long? Here's what you need to watch over the next 2 weeks. 1. Does Iran attempt to mine the Strait of Hormuz? That's their nuclear option. Economic, not literal. If those mines go in, $150 oil becomes the floor. 2. Who becomes the new supreme leader? So a hardliner means the war escalates. A moderate means there's a path to negotiation. That announcement, when it comes, will move oil markets instantly. 3. What is Trump's big one? CENTCOM is already expanding strikes inland, deeper into Iran's heartland, hunting mobile ballistic missile launchers. The next major strike package could be the largest single bombing run in U.S. military history. 4. Watch Congress. Trump's letter justifying the war to Congress outlined no imminent threat from Iran, according to the New York Times. The 60-day war powers clock is ticking, and Capitol Hill is getting restless. Iran's parliamentary speaker promised that America would beg for mercy. Right now, the United States has 50,000 troops in the region, has destroyed 1,700 targets in 72 hours, sunk 17 Iranian warships, obliterated Iran's nuclear program, killed its supreme leader, and is, by its own admission, still accelerating. You can form your own opinion on whether any of this was justified. But there's one thing that's impossible to debate. Iran's parliamentary speaker called this the moment America would beg for mercy. The US response was to sink their navy, bomb their nuclear sites, and post "the big one is coming" on social media. Begging doesn't quite seem to be on the agenda.